So, yes, as I was saying, grinding in this game has become pretty hilarious because essentially I enter a battle, beat the shit out of myself, and the enemy gets so scared they run away. Alright, well, we have Gordon!
I just joined your party!
Oh my god! Holy shit! Oh my god!
He's gonna die! He's gonna fucking die!
What do you even...
However, I'm here for all of the resurgence of the Eris X Tifa art.
Yes. My favorite thing is that video of the nearly naked horse head guy dancing in the forest and making cooking mushrooms to that song.
What the fuck? But also, Starship Battle costs the player base millions of dollars. Yeah. Yeah, there's also that. Like, I don't know exactly how it works, but it is player run. Like, there's no... Like... Yeah, the games in the companies in the game are the ones who take care of the economy. So they set the economic rates, and, like, the players are the ones running the banks and everything. And it's just like, what the fuck? Oh yeah. Oh god. Ragnarok Online, take me back to my first ever MMO. I fucking love Iroh. I love Ragnarok Online. The second game can't compare. Ragnarok 2 can't compare. Oh my god. But...
I was always so amazed by how many... Like, I never got the chance to play the original one, but I always wanted to, because I was amazed by how many classes there were.
Coco!
Lefuulei!
Coco!
What?
Coco! Oh my god, now you're gonna make me go and run to find, like, a private server that we can go jump on, and you can come play?
Hey, I would be up for it. I would 100% be up for it.
But yeah, Ragnarok Online private servers, like, that was the most interesting thing to get into, because obviously they had, you know, the official servers originally, and you had to pay, like, a certain amount of money per month so that you could play on the servers. And of course they had, like, a free thing that you could, you know, limit RO whispers likes. Okay. But yeah, no, so, like, you had a certain amount that you could play for free, like, a week or something, and then after that, you had to start paying per month. But, like, then I got into a phase where I started doing private servers, and private servers are so interesting because, like, they always end up altering the rates at which things happen, so, like, drop rates and whatnot, and it's such an interesting thing to see how it affects the internal economy of the game. Because in the original Ragnarok, you know, I can't remember what the actual economy, like, the denomination was, but having $1 million money in that game was insane. But in the private servers, having $1 million was like chump change. Because the rates were so fucked up that, like, you would end up getting $1 million from, like, your earliest battles.
Let's see. I could use eye drops, but I don't know which one of these might heal darkness. Does anyone in chat know? I imagine it would probably be heal?
I think the spell that's supposed to cure, weird status ailments is Peep.
Because, like, both of them do it. I've noticed this one cures... both of them cure poison, but, like, this one cures the permanent poison that continues after. The question is, which one of these two, if any, cures darkness? I know we could use the eye drop, but I still don't know which one of these does what. Isuna or eye drops. Yeah, like
and Isuna would be Peep.
Isuna would be Peep? Okay. That's just
Yeah.
that sometimes gets confusing since there's difference in names between the versions. It's like, which one's which?
I think in large part that's because the version that we're playing is technically a fan translation of the Japanese version.
Gotcha.
Because if I remember correctly, this was one of the ones that didn't come out properly.
Yeah, that's correct.
Final Fantasy II was one of the ones that came out as a different game.
Looks like it's heal that we need to use.
I forget what else, but there was another MMO that, God, like Snow, don't bring me that. Don't bring me back to that. Goddamn.
I might as well just use the icon.
That's fair, Oxventer. That's fine. But there was another MMO that was trying to do sort of an Eve style of like economy system, but the problem was the MMO wasn't that popular because instead of being like starships, it was, you know, a standard like fantasy RPG. And I remember in there that like you would get monster drops and you could sell them to the NPCs, but you'd get 0 currency. But they were also used for like quests and crafting and stuff, so you could sell it off to other players by setting yourself as a shop. So it was really like you had to monitor the market and see who else was selling stuff and for what price in order to appropriately price your stuff. Because otherwise you couldn't get money from like the shops. It was all money that you would get from monster drops and from other players. Now, if you want to go from the topic of interesting economy systems to terrible, well, good to terrible server management systems, we could start talking about, what was it called? Shin Megami Tensei Imagine. That was the online MMO for Shin Megami Tensei.
Which is still wild to me.
I know, right? But it was... I'm not gonna lie. When it was releasing and it actually had a story, it was a good game. I enjoyed it a lot. That was like the first game that me, Moon, and Scott all played on together.
Aww.
But imagine, that was the one that... Dude, Numonica, if people do start a private server for it, I think someone else did. Yeah, Reimagine. Is the new version. It got the Toontown treatment where some people picked up the code privately after they shut down the servers permanently in 2018. But yeah, no. So, Shin Megami Tensei Imagine went from basically having like a multi-channel server, which was great because people all understood that if you go onto channel 1, you're going into the main city to sell things. That's where you set up your shop. All the other channels had their own specific uses and everything, but channel 1 was always like a selling thing.
Good luck with the dungeon.
Good luck with your dungeon, bruh. But then when I went on like several years later, closer to when they finally shut it down, I think it was after, was it Atlas that took it over? I think it was Atlas. Whoever's the main like forerunner for the Shin Megami Tensei games. Yeah, Atlas. It had to be Atlas. But after Atlas took it over, they went, I don't understand why you have so many channels for servers. So let's just slap it into one singular channel. And it was terrible because you basically, like, half your story quests are in the main city. And the main city is, like, central hub that you need to go to in order to get anywhere. It's like the all roads lead to Rome kind of thing. And it was terrible because fucking... if you were gonna try and like do anything, you had to go through that, and there was so many NPCs trying to sell things and so many people crowded there, you couldn't get through the city. It would cause your computer to just explode. It's just like, why would you do this? So eventually people stopped playing, and, you know, much like me, I also stopped playing. And then eventually they just shut it down permanently. Also, Marco, earlier you claimed that you never played an MMO. That's not true. I would definitely classify Overwatch as an MMO. Exactly. It just wasn't an RPG, but it was an MMO. Yeah, MMO FPS. Just like technically, League of Legends is an MMO strategy, real-time strategy game, MMORTS. Okay, that's fair. I mean, Overwatch wasn't that small. It's just, it wasn't like your traditional MMO that, like MMORPGs, which have, you know, usually large worlds that you travel through. Like, I would even hesitate to call Vindictus an MMO. Like, MMORPG. Because even though it has RPG elements, it was more like an MMO dungeon crawler. Bruh, nice. I need to go check out Reimagine. But speaking of, I brought up another MMO that was another part of my childhood, which is Toontown.
I had a friend that wanted me to try that out so badly, but I was like, I don't know.
I mean, it's silly. I think for me, that was the first MMO I played that actually gave you your own property. And it was a playthrough that was fun to watch, yes. It was also a fun to play playthrough, it's just the people I was playing with, I won't be playing with ever again, so... I'm also just forever angry that I can't be Lady Cheesy Poof.
Aww.
That was my OG name back in Toontown, was Lady Cheesy Poof. Because I was just tickled by the fact that I could make that my name. Yeah, Toontown was the Disney one. I mean, it's fun, but it is repetitive. And I mean, there isn't, like, too much story. Yeah, I mean, I paid for it at one time, but after that I didn't. Now, however, they re-brought it back as Toontown Rewritten. And the people who are running Rewritten are adding more things that they can into it. So, a lot of the things they promised that we would get that we never got. That kind of stuff.
Let's see.
And that one's free to play. I have a feeling I know which one you're talking about. Was it like selfie.me or something like that? Because that one was weeb enough that they actually got like licensed merchandise in their actual game, but it was basically a clone of Gaia, but with a bunch of paywalls. Yes,
Yeah.
Tinier Me.
Oh, I think I remember seeing that too.
Yeah. The shitty thing there was, like, it was very hard to get in-game currency and without paying for it. And it was just like a glorified dress-up game of a forum. So I eventually just found, like, a website that did, like, all the outfits from there, and I would play with that.
Yeah.
It doesn't work anymore because Chrome stopped supporting Flash, and it runs entirely off of Flash. And I don't think they're ever going to code it up to be HTML5 ready.
You know, one browser game that I absolutely adore and that I still get sad and nostalgic about was Glitch. Did anyone ever play that?
I don't think I've heard of that one.
Oh, it was just such a zen-like game, and it had a really, really cute aesthetic. There have been some people who tried to revive it. Like, I think one project is called Children of Ur, since sort of like the world in which it took place is called Ur. But it's been pretty much at the same status for years now, so I don't have much hope for it.
Oof. I was half expecting you to say RuneScape.
You mean Run Escape?
Yes, Run Escape. I'll be real with you, I think technically, even though I played Ragnarok Online, I think I may have played Run Escape before Ragnarok. Like, barely before. It was around the same time. Oh god, I've heard of Sherwood Forest. I don't think I've ever played it, though. And I definitely didn't play Dark Ages.
Uh-oh.
Uh-oh?
I thought that Monica would kill one of these in one hit. So
Oopsie.
Hopefully they don't explode on us. I'm gonna double up on this one. Kill it. No, kill it.
So, Moon, what you described sounds exactly like how Mabinogi worked.
Ugh.
Because I do remember quite a few things
that
with
wasn't so bad.
Mabinogi. That wasn't too bad. You've got the health. But I do remember the things with Mabinogi was, went out fighting monsters with a friend, got the shit beaten out of us, revived with no clothing on, had to run naked to go get our clothing back. Mabinogi is an interesting game. I wouldn't say I like it, I also wouldn't say I hate it. There were things I liked and there were things I hated. I hated the age system. I think that was stupid. I don't think that they should have done it that way at all.
I mean, especially since you can just reset and still have your skills, it's like, what's even the point then?
Yeah. But also the thing that pissed me off is, like, when you start the game, they literally recommend that you freaking start, like, if you're a new player, you start at age 18, and then, you know, play it that way. But when you hit age 20, if I remember correctly, you can't get any stats anymore. You basically hit, like, a standstill. So you have to reset, which costs money, to reset your age back to 13, so that you could actually, you know, level up. And it was so fucking stupid, but, like, I liked the social system. The social system was cool. Like, I liked people who, you know, would just chill and play instruments. I liked the fact that even though the story forced you to do fighting as leveling, technically it wasn't required. Like, for me, that was the first game ever that decided to do extracurricular class systems, such as, you know, oh, you could be a farmer, or you could be a cook, or you could be, you know, a metal worker. Like, you don't have to be a fighter. And I think that's a system that a lot of the newer RPG games
Ugh.
now take for themselves. Oh boy. It's time for a rematch. Oh, I've tried Final Fantasy XIV. I just refuse to play. I refuse to pay $15 a month for Final Fantasy XIV. Like, that's my major issue, is the fact that it costs you a monthly fee on top of the base game fee. And yeah, Oxyventure, I used to do the same, where I used to bounce between a lot of MMORPGs because I was constantly chasing the dragon on that one. Even though I know that's not the correct reference here, but I was constantly chasing that nostalgia train. Is it now 12? I mean, still, I don't have the spare money to be spending on a video game like that.
Yeah, like I really do want to give it a shot, but between an addictive personality and not having the spare money, I'm just like, resist! Resist!
Yeah. And especially because, I mean, for me, a large reason why I get into MMOs is because of the people I find there, or the friends that I make.
Mm-hmm.
And, like, Final Fantasy XIV, as I described earlier, it is a glorified emote simulator. Very pretty, great emote system, pretty decent fashion system. The story and the fighting is just boring. Mnemonica. The wizard ogres are sacred. I refuse your murder of them. They help me sleep. This is funny because we know that Mnemonica has trouble sleeping. See, I think that's where Guild Wars 2 and Final Fantasy are basically polar opposites of each other. Is Guild Wars 2 started out as an MMORPG. Its focus was the RPG and having a good story. And the first two stories that they provided us were very good. But then after the second expansion, the expansions started just getting boring with the story. Final Fantasy XIV focused heavily on making, you know, the social aspect of the game, and started making, like, all these cool emotes, and really worked on making the characters look good, but they sacrificed the story for it. I disagree. The original base game of GW2 wasn't that monotonous.
Ooh,
Like, for me,
tone.
the original grind system and everything in GW2 was more fun because it was more exploration based, as opposed to just constantly go fight monsters. But, you know, if you break it down to your basic groups, then yes, it was monotonous because the fact that the leveling system was essentially go find an NPC who gives you 5 tasks to do. The 5 tasks are basically the same, which is either go collect an item, go fight a monster, or go revive a person or something. It was all the same kind of tasks, sometimes slightly different. And then, of course, to get more XP, you go find Vista points and you explore more of the map and whatnot. Most of it wasn't, like, the hardest way to gain levels in that game is fighting. If you only fought monsters and you treat it like a Final Fantasy game, for example, it would take you forever to get to level 80. Okay, back in the old days, you were able to just level up through cooking and doing side trades. That's actually how I did it. How I got from level 60 to level 80 is I just mass leveled up my jewelry profession and just went from level 60 to 80 for the elementalist. It was fucking hilarious. They fixed that, though. They changed that, so now you actually don't get that much XP from doing craft. But for me, that was a better way to handle the leveling system is make you go explore the map and, like, find cool shit and see cool shit, as opposed to just staying in a 5x5 square where I fought the same monsters for 12 hours.
Yeah.
Looking at you, Final Fantasy 2. The only thing that saved me was the fact that I could set the game speed up to 800%. But it was very hard to control. Turtles just want Vap dead. It's fine.
But Vap is the bane of their existence. She's the only reason we can take them down.
I mean, it's true, because aren't they the ones that only magic effects?
Yep.
Because their defense is so high that, like, when you try and hit them with a sword or an axe, they bounce right off, practically. Just 2 damage. This is another reason why I recommended to Coco that Pneumonica should definitely be learning some magic.
Yeah, Pneumonica has a fire spell. I'll probably be giving them the other elemental spells too. I was hoping we would find them, but so far we just... I mean, I guess we might as well give this to Gordon. Or sell it. Let's give it to Gordon. No. He only has 5 MP, it wouldn't be worth it at this point.
The guide recommends to give Pneumonica 4 healing spells and 4 elemental spells, black magic spells, because, you know, it helps.
Yeah. Let's see. I think we'll be coming up to the boss fight soon, so let's top everyone off. And magic heals it, so I'll actually, yeah, I'll use them. I'll use Marco to heal everyone up right now, and have him do most of the attacking. And then Vap can heal. Okay.
Yeah, Marco, remember you can buff the attack if you need to brute force a turtle and do 2 damage instead of 1.
Yeah, I was just gonna say, I don't think the Berserk spell will work all that well against them. It's Red Soul, Guardian of the Igil Torch. Oh, you aren't looking too good there, buddy.
Lucifer? Is that you?
Yeah, I don't... It says it won't. It says magic will heal it.
Oh my god.
So...
87 million Zenny on Ragnarok Online. Holy fuck, that's a lot. That would take you a whole week. Ha, Kidane. Oh shit, it's me after I eat spicy food not meant for white people.
Hello, Kidane.
That is such a fucking mood, Kidane. Marco, what are you trying to say? Are you trying to say shrimp or simp?
Let's see.
I mean, yeah, it does kind of look like a shrimp with a demon mask. You are right.
Gordon, please. That, please.
Can someone please hit this thing? I will say the image for it in the remake of this game.
You got cut off. What about it?
The image for it in the remake game is much better. It's highly resistant to physical attacks.
Yep. But we're doing some good damage now that we put Berserk on. Except for Gordon.
Oh, fuck. This is actually a big fuck you enemy. God damn.
Yep.
Okay, so highly resistant to physical attacks, but any magic you cast on Red Soul will heal it and not harm it.
Yep. That's why I have Marco attacking and letting Vap do the healing for this battle.
Wow, this is a major fuck you enemy.